What if everything you thought you knew about the Dodgers' championship mindset was completely wrong? What if one hidden moment, one decision, or one unexpected player actually changed the entire direction of their season without anyone realizing it? And what if tonight's game wasn't just another matchup, but the single turning point that decides the fate of the whole franchise moving forward? Before we dive in, ask yourself this: are you ready to see the one truth that fans, analysts, and even players never talk about but absolutely should? Because what you're about to hear will change everything. Most fans believe the Dodgers are unbeatable, loaded with stars, stacked with power, and always in control. But what if the reality is the complete opposite? What if behind the celebrations and highlight plays, this team is quietly battling weaknesses no one dares to mention? While one half of the baseball world sees a dominant powerhouse marching toward another title, the other half sees cracks forming under the surface, cracks that could shatter the entire season. Two completely different perspectives, but only one of them is true. And by the time you hear both sides, your view of this team will change forever. Something happened inside the Dodgers clubhouse this week, something so unexpected that players, coaches, and insiders are still whispering about it. A moment that wasn't shown on camera, wasn't reported by the big networks, and wasn't supposed to get out, but it did. And the impact of that moment is already changing how the Dodgers play, how they think, and how they approach the rest of the season. You're about to hear the full story: what triggered it, who was involved, and why it could spark one of the biggest shifts we've seen in years. Trust me, you're not ready for this. Before we jump into one of the most unreal, heart-stopping, emotionally insane Game 7 World Series battles you'll ever witness, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a Dodgers update, a breaking MLB story, or any playoff drama. What happened tonight between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays wasn't just baseball. It was chaos, destiny, adrenaline, heartbreak, and pure cinematic madness rolled into 9 innings and beyond. Fans inside the stadium are still shaking, the broadcasters nearly lost their voices, and players from both teams look like they just walked out of a disaster movie. This wasn't a game, this was a fight for baseball immortality. From the first pitch, you could feel the electricity flickering through the stadium. Dodgers fans and Blue Jays fans were in a non-stop screaming contest that lasted the entire night. The opening inning immediately hinted at how wild this game was going to be. Toronto came out swinging. Bo Bichette smashed a double into the gap that flipped the energy instantly. Dodgers fans held their breath. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. stepped in, looking like he wanted to launch a baseball into orbit. On a 2-0 pitch, he ripped a rocket to deep left that looked gone off the bat, but Chris Taylor timed his jump perfectly and snagged it at the wall. That catch felt like a warning: nothing tonight was going to be normal. The Dodgers answered right away. Mookie Betts lined a single into left, and Shohei Ohtani stepped up cool as ice. He ripped a 110 mph laser down the right field line that nearly blew the roof off Dodger Stadium. The ball stayed in the park, but Mookie sprinted to third, and the Dodgers had something brewing. Max Muncy walked, loading the bases, and the air in the stadium got so heavy it felt like the entire place stopped breathing. Then Will Smith smashed a screaming grounder through the infield, scoring 2 runs and sending Dodger Stadium into complete chaos. The Dodgers took a 2-0 lead, and the crowd exploded. But Toronto wasn't even close to done. In the top of the third, they roared back. George Springer battled through a tough at-bat and dropped a deep fly ball just inside the line, driving in a run. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got another chance, and this time he did not miss. He obliterated a slider and launched it into the left field pavilion to tie the game. Dodger Stadium fell silent for half a second before the crowd erupted again, trying to lift their team right back up. Guerrero jogged the bases like a man born for big moments. The Dodgers punched back in the bottom half. Freddie Freeman, quiet most of the series, finally broke through. With a full count, he launched a towering home run that looked like it had its own orbit. The stadium went absolutely nuts. The Dodgers grabbed the lead again, and for a moment it felt like L.A. was gearing up to pull away. Then came the fifth inning, the inning where the entire game tipped into complete insanity. Toronto loaded the bases with nobody out after a walk, a bloop single, and a borderline hit by pitch that had Dave Roberts storming out of the dugout yelling at the umpire. After nearly getting tossed, he calmed down just enough to stay in the game, but the fans were furious. Moments later, Alejandro Kirk hit a slow roller to third. Muncy charged in and fired home, and Will Smith made a lightning-fast tag that saved a run. The place shook like an earthquake. But on the very next pitch, Kirk lined a single up the middle, scoring 2 and giving Toronto a 4-3 lead. Their dugout exploded. The Dodgers came right back. Ohtani stepped to the plate again, but this time he didn't swing for power, he dropped a perfect bunt down the third base line. Nobody saw it coming. The entire stadium gasped, then roared as he beat it out easily. Moments later, Muncy ripped a double to the gap, scoring Ohtani and tying the game. The tension didn't feel like tension anymore, it felt like physical chaos. From that point on, it was just blow after blow from both sides. Diving plays. Loud outs. Almost home runs. Game-changing close calls. Every pitch felt like its own storyline. By the seventh inning stretch, fans were drained, announcers were cracking, and players were surviving on pure adrenaline. In the eighth, Toronto struck again. Bichette hammered a drive off the wall, bringing in another run and putting the Jays up 5-4. Dodger Stadium froze. Thousands of fans held their heads. Some sat down. Some stood still. Some prayed. It felt like the season was slipping away. But champions don't collapse. Champions don't quit. And the Dodgers weren't letting their story end here. Bottom of the ninth. Down a run. Facing one of the toughest closers in baseball. Mookie Betts worked a walk that felt like a miracle. Then Ohtani stepped into the batter's box, and the entire stadium went silent. First pitch foul. Second ball outside. Third, Ohtani unleashed one of the most violent swings of his life. The sound alone told the story. The ball shot into the night sky toward deep right. The crowd stood as one. Time slowed down. And then boom, it slammed off the wall, inches from a walk-off homer. Mookie scored easily to tie the game, and Ohtani stood on second with his arms stretched wide like a warrior who refused to fall. Extra innings. Pure torture. Every pitch felt fatal. The 10th ended scoreless. The 11th, more insanity but no runs. By the 12th, players were out of energy, pitchers were running on fumes, and both managers had used almost every weapon they had. Then it happened, the moment that will live forever. Bottom of the 12th. 2 outs. Runners on first and second. The stadium chanting "Let's go Dodgers" so loudly the cameras shook. And up came rookie Luis Rodriguez. A kid no one expected to be the hero of Game 7. On an 0-1 pitch, he connected perfectly. The ball rocketed into the right center gap. The stadium exploded instantly. The runner from second took off like his life depended on it. He rounded third, the throw came in fast, he dove head first into the plate, dust erupted and the umpire signaled safe. Pandemonium. Absolute madness. The Dodgers bench stormed the field. Fans lost their minds. Fireworks filled the sky. Rodriguez was swallowed by his teammates as Dodger Stadium erupted like a volcano. The Dodgers had done it. A walk-off win in extra innings. A rookie sealing a championship. One of the wildest, most dramatic Game 7 finishes ever witnessed. Before you leave, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this channel is bringing you every ounce of Dodgers drama, every trade rumor, every update, and every unbelievable moment. What a night. What a game. What a World Series.